Okay. Hey, Majella. How wonderful to see you, girl. We done made it to week 6. Can you believe it?
Week 6. It's ridiculous. It's
It-
absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe how fast and yet slow the time has gone.
Yeah,
Mm. Big breath in.
yeah. So just before the countdown to going live, you were sharing with me about your running and about how
Mm.
that came about and where you're at with it. Congratulations are in order.
Yeah. My friend Chloe suggested we do this 200 kilometers run throughout to rock up, stack up 200 kilometers during March, which is I think is about 124 miles, I think.
Yes.
Um, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And today I completed 200 kilometers with my fastest ever 10K run. I'm not fast at all. Even my fastest isn't fast, but I finished with that. And
Faster than
last
me.
Wednesday, I ran my first ever half marathon through central London and down along the river. So that was pretty
Wow.
special because it's lockdown as well. You could run
Okay,
without there being crowds of people, so it was really
that's
quite
nice.
magical. And yeah, I feel
Nice.
like running is definitely joyful for me and helps me process and think things through and just allows me space for stuff to come up. So it's been really, yeah. If someone had said this to me even 2 years ago, I'd be like, nah, not me, you know. And now I think, oh, maybe I'll run a half marathon every other month, or maybe once a month, just do a half marathon or something. So it's really reframed things for me. And I think that the reclaiming joy part for me is definitely around being in my body and um, really appreciating that my body's still going even after many years of drinking, smoking, not necessarily eating great foods, not exercising, not really appreciating it as much. I'm not talking in recent years so much as like younger years. And I think, God, isn't my body amazing? So
Yes.
celebrating that
Yes.
part of it really for me. Yeah. And connection to self, physical self, emotional, spiritual, and using that sort of space to reclaim. And then my other element of joy is my son and his girlfriend have moved nearer to me,
Oh,
which is really exciting and
that
lovely and
is.
very nice.
Yes.
'Cause we're close anyway, so but it's also just like, oh, okay, come on then. So that's wonderful.
That's
And the
beautiful.
final point for me for this week has been really around um, making sure I consult with my wise friends and and also to discuss things to do predominantly. To be fair, a lot of it's to do with work, not to do with my personal life per se, but the yeah, processing things and looking at things, having good supervision and wise supervisors to discuss things with so that making better decisions that are really clear and thought through and thoughtful of the people who are impacted by those decisions. So
Yes.
that has been much more joyful for me too. Just going, oh, actually, I really need to process this in a really structured way and doing that. So, yeah, big shout out to my supervisors and my wise friends, present company included in that. So, yeah, that's been my week 6. How about you?
Wow. Yeah, this has been quite a time, quite a week. I see one of the biggest things that showed up was the work that I did to really individuate between myself and my mother and my father's story of unrequited love. And it becomes a new form of ritual that I kind of stepped into. I'm following this book called Calling in the One. And as I'm reading what guidance she's giving about this individuation, which is like a forgiveness ritual, but she's not talking fire. And, I had to really humble myself and say, stop judging. Yes, a specific amount of tools and an approach to doing forgiveness work, but just open yourself up. Spirit led you to this person and this work for a reason. You need to honor it. So I did. I opened myself up and I found that it's just a little too intellectual for me in terms of write this out and write. And so what I ended up doing was getting a picture of my mother and father, which you can't imagine. My sister was able to just text it to me like that. And I thought it would take maybe weeks or whatever. It's like, bam, it shows up. And I get the hit, you need to make a collage. So I make this forgiveness collage. And then Spirit's like, yeah, you can do a little video. I was like, that's right. So I get on my editing tools and I get this beautiful drumming music by a man named Umar Sungay out of Milwaukee, originally from Nigeria. And I put this drum soundtrack onto this collage, which is basically a slideshow. And there are two of them. So each of them goes for like 10 seconds, but 7 times each. So I'm working with, right, the number of infinity, the 7 times 7 that Jesus said, how many times you got to forgive? So this infinite number. And it came to about like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I lit a candle, turned out the lights, put that on, and oh my God, it was so powerful. And I came up out of that 2, 3 minutes of that energetic shift, and I just had to lay down. And it was still early evening for me because I'm a night owl, but I had to lay down. I was just totally being rewired. And it's like having that picture of my mother and father, which I don't have, like, I didn't have in my house. It's not hanging up on a wall. Didn't have that. But now it shows up, and so it's like they're no longer in me for me to operate out of their story. I've been freed up, and now I can really operate out of my story.
Wow.
Huge.
That's
Huge. So I had the most joyous Sunday that just passed. I just had so much fun. And it wasn't even dampened by the termite infestation that shows up in the late afternoon.
So that's
And
also interesting what you were saying about that,
yeah, yeah.
and what the meaning of the termites.
Yeah, termites coming, these incredible messengers that in Africa are associated with the ancestors, and they had wings. So they're in their mating season. So they're bringing this message about, we can look at mating season also as creativity, great creativity, great reproduction, great expansion, all of that. But I was clear that they got my attention. So, on this very joyous day that I had. Yeah, it was just wonderful. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And sun is shining and springtime is here, and we had a
Yeah,
full
yeah.
moon last night, and
Yes,
lots of things are shifting for us all.
definitely.
Mm.
There was also and our Mandalorian fire brothers here. Hey, Ravi.
Hey.
Uh, um, Chiron, which is this kind of satellite that acts like a planet in terms of its orbiting around our solar system. It's very powerful. It was discovered in like the 1970s, but it goes back to the Greek mythology about Chiron as a wounded healer because he's the centaur, half man, half beast, raised by Apollo, But it's him aligned with Venus. Hey, Lori, so good to see you here. Um, he's aligned with Venus, and they're both in the sign of Aries. And so I got a very phenomenal experience of being on Zoom yesterday morning with this wonderful group called Age of Aquarius, which was created by Astro Butterfly. Give her a plug, astrobutterfly.com, Age of Aquarius community, fabulous group. And we were like talking about healing the core wounds, right? Because the work I'm doing Saturday, right? So we're talking about healing the core wounds at this time. And again, it was Majella, just this when we are connected to other people, doing the work, committed to doing the work at this level, it's just phenomenal.
Mm,
And so that was so joyous for me, and I
mm,
connected with 2 people who have worked with my teacher, Melodoma and Sobonfu, that I'll follow up with. That was really cool. That's a gift. Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Um, so it's that thing, it's like when you were running, right? Weren't there other people that are running the marathon that you were doing?
Oh no, it's just me. I don't like
Okay.
running with other people.
Oh, okay.
I don't run with wolves. I run on my own. What was quite interesting with the running for me doing the half marathon is partly it was fueled by absolute, I was fuming about some stuff that had come up, absolutely enraged. So, the kind of actually starting the run, I was in tears because I was so angry. I was
Mm,
so angry. Like, honestly, if there'd been certain people in front of me, I could have, I don't know what I would have done. So it was really interesting to allow the rage to come up because I think this, you is it possible? Like, it's like the Frankie Beverly and May song, Joy and Pain, right?
right, right.
So it's like sunshine and rain. With If you're going to have breakthroughs, then those breakthroughs come in all sorts of ways. They can be through
Yes.
laughter, crying, anger, you know, whatever the emotions are. But that processing, starting off a 13.1 mile run, we're in utter state of lividness.
Wow.
Was really, really interesting because it didn't take long before actually, because as you're running and you're being just present to each stride rather than focusing on where I was going. I mean, I knew what I was going to I knew where I was going, but I wasn't particular about the route or stuff like that. It was just interesting to kind of shift the endorphinating that comes from running.
Yes. Yes.
Shifted it massively, and then I was able to get into a better space and then ask for supervision, ask for
Mm,
support, talk through what the issues were, and book time with people to talk about it. And I thought, wow, like this has really jarred with me. Um,
yes.
and I think the joyful elements are, I feel very empowered by the process that's going on, and it's still going on, and it will change. And I feel very clear about um, maintaining my integrity in a situation that
Yes.
feels quite stressful, but also to be okay. Well, I wrote something about kind of, you know, sometimes the light that's being shone on you is lit by gas,
Yes.
and
Yes.
when you can feel it in your body that something's not right, and um, but people are being, they're gaslighting you. So, so it's very hard to confront and address.
Mm.
And it's just like, actually, do you know what? Crack on, people, because ultimately that light will shine on you. And I'm going to shine my own light and bring my own light to this position
Right.
and to what I'm doing. So it was a tough week and really good week, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, both sides of the coin really going on.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. It's what I'm hearing, in your feedback is the importance of self-generation
Mm,
of the joy,
mm,
to be able to have a consciousness that we can shift up, like what you were doing with your running, or me, you know, being on that Zoom. It's that shifting up, it's that feeding the joy.
mm,
And I think that's something that in a culture where it appears that so much is being done to us,
mm,
and we're coming out of 4 years of just really being inundated with fear-based messages and situations. So there's this, it's being done to me, so basically we've been in a victim mode and a victim consciousness, and that gets fueled a lot by, advertisers and stuff, because if people are in fear, they'll go spend their money. If people believe there's something wrong with them, they'll go spend their money to fix it. But we're moving into a time now where it is essential for us to claim our power, our ability to choose to generate the joy from the inside out.
mm.
And that's what I so hear you talking about so beautifully. Yeah.
And I think there's something about acknowledging that there's, you know, joy comes a deep joy comes from deep experiences and stepping into ourselves, being owning our stuff, recognizing where maybe we could do better, and how we shift that and how we shift our expectations of ourselves and other people, so that you're not setting people up to fail either. That
Right.
there's not
Right.
this kind of, oh, okay, it's like, okay, just don't go at things with assumptions. Just break away from the assumption base and apply cultural humility to everything you do.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think that's probably my lesson. I'm still surrendering. I'm still being guided. I'm still absolutely curious about how things are being shifted around and how directions are being, I'm being pointed in different directions, perhaps from what I thought I might be. So
Right.
yeah, it's really interesting because who knows what's going to unfold. How about
Exactly.
you?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just really so excited. The big word that comes to me is creativity. Um, and this will be my closeout for today. I feel that a big part of reclaiming joy is to step out into the unknown, to open up to being creative, to take on creating your joy, to not believe that it's just supposed to show up, um, but that you can actually co create with the universe joyful people, joyful experiences, joyful ideas and thoughts, that we can put our attention on that. And that's what I'm taking into this week coming up. Again, continuing to talk to my heart, listen to my heart. What is right for me? What do I need to do? What is this really about? Um, and to really open up to this creative piece. I've carved out a 2 week period right now to really reduce the amount of work I'm doing out in the world, um, so that I can have this time to myself to really do some cleaning out physically in my living space, but also some cleaning out internally to continue that process and to open up to being creative. Like what else can I step into that is new, that is unknown, that is mysterious,
Mhm.
and allow that to guide me to generating more of the joy. So,
Beautiful.
how about you?
Mm. Well, for sure, it's the sensing into being in the allowing, the boundaries, allowing, being authentic,
Yes, yes.
and operating from a place of love and integrity. Um,
Beautiful.
and not wanting, letting go of the idea of that there's any control involved. Let go, surrender, give it up.
Right.
It's okay. Whatever shows up, shows up, and you know,
Trusting.
it's all gonna be absolutely fine. And this is just finding direction. Fabulous.
Sure.
I'm
Wonderful.
looking forward to hearing
So,
about everyone else's stuff when they write down and tell us.
yes, definitely. And also, Sunday is Easter, which is the
Mhm.
conclusion of the 40-day, but we will be doing a 7-week update on next Monday as well. Same time,
So
same channel.
it may be a different time, and it may be Tuesday, depending because it's a holiday on Monday here, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Easter
So
Monday.
so
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
will post up. It will be either Monday or Tuesday,
Monday or Tuesday.
depending. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
I might have to
Great.
go hunting Easter eggs.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Thanks, Andy.
everyone, be well. Blessings to you on your joy reclamation process. And it has been a great pleasure to be doing this with you through this time period. And we look forward to seeing what next week is going to bring.
Perfect. See you
Bye
later. Bye,
bye.
everyone. Bye.